Hey guys, welcome back to another video on this whole Bricks and Minifigs situation, all that going on. This one is going to be the police department statement. That is the one that arrested Reckless Ben in part 2 of his video, which I will have linked below if you haven't seen that yet. And I will also have this video linked below if you do want to watch it independent of this video. First off, sorry about some audio issues in yesterday's video. I thought making it a little quieter would help with the background noise, and it turns out it didn't really, and it just made me sound worse. So I do apologize for that. Thank you guys for the support on the last two, really three videos. The first video I did on the Bricks and Minifigs situation was, I think it might be my third best performing video ever, and then the next two are my two best by far. So I do really appreciate all the support on those videos. And like I said, I don't know how many videos I'm going to make on the situation, but I'm going to keep covering it until everything's resolved here. So I want to keep raising awareness about it. Hopefully, help Brian get his sets back in any way that I can. Because, I mean, there's nothing I can physically do, but if I can show, I mean, in the case of the last two videos, 10,000 people uh, the information that Bricks and Minifigs is putting out and other information related to this case, I'm going to do it. So I want to do whatever I can to help this situation. And I think this is the next step here. I'm going to give my commentary on the statement that the police have made. We're looking at about a 26-minute long video, so probably going to be a little bit of a longer one here. Like the last two have been closer to 30 minutes, and this one will probably be around that as well. So let's get right into it. No more wasting time.
My name is Cameron Paul, and I am the Chief of Police for the American Fork Police Department. I'd like to address the members of our...
This guy's really quiet. Sorry. Hopefully, maybe it will get fixed, and hopefully it's not too quiet for you guys. But he is very quiet. I'm just noticing that 10 seconds in.
American Fork and Cedar Hills community regarding some videos currently circulating on social media that have been presented in a way that calls into question some of the actions of our departments. These videos are affiliated with an influencer on YouTube and other social media platforms and stem from a dispute involving Legos that originates in the state of Oregon. In this message, we will be presenting 4 different cases and police responses from our police department, and will provide a detailed overview as to what happened and what our actions were.
So, first off, this guy is like under the sun or something. Like, I don't know where they're recording this, but white background, this bright lights doesn't work. I don't have the best setup, but this is bad. Second, it's going to take a lot for them to justify what was going on in that video. Now, I mean, the reaction to this video has been mostly negative. So, I mean, as you can see, this top comment here has 15,000 likes. The video itself only has 500. So I am not counting on it being exactly a positive video, but let's continue. Oh, I thought it restarted for a second.
On March 8th, 2026, an American Fork resident, Joshua Johnson, requested phone contact from the American Fork Police Department regarding a suspicious individual who had earlier arrived at his home. Officer Tonga with the American Fork Police Department contacted Mr. Johnson by phone. Mr. Johnson reported that earlier that same day, a suspicious male had been at his residence. He stated the male was wearing a baseball cap with a UPS logo taped onto it. Mr. Johnson also reported that a suspicious package had been left at the residence. He explained that what appeared suspicious was that the shipping label did not look legitimate. The package was later determined to...
That's, I mean, maybe he's about to say it, but yeah, that's not a legitimate uh, shipping label. And I mean, I didn't see that guy in Ben's video, but not important.
Mr. Johnson reported to Officer Tonga that he believed the male was an individual named Benjamin Snyder, who, according to Johnson, operates a YouTube channel. Mr. Johnson further explained that civil proceedings were occurring in Oregon and stated that he believed Snyder was sending individuals to his home to harass him. While Officer Tonga was still on the phone with Mr. Johnson, Johnson reported that 2 females had exited a vehicle and were walking toward his property.
I guess that kind of explains why Brennan wasn't talking to Ben in the video. I was unsure of if he knew who he was at the time, but I guess that definitely explains that a little bit more because, I don't know, I was a little... I guess he's the owner, so it kind of makes sense that he would know, but it was before the video came out, so I was unsure on that originally, but...
He also reported that a male driver remained inside the vehicle. Officers Tonga and Richardson responded to the area. Officer Tonga contacted the driver, who identified himself as Benjamin Adams. Although Adams initially stated he was there for unrelated reasons, he later admitted he had been filming Mr. Johnson while Johnson was walking around the exterior of his residence. Adams told Officer Tonga that an individual named Benjamin Snyder had flown into Utah on March 7, 2026, and had contacted Adams requesting assistance with filming, for which Adams would be compensated by Snyder. Adams reported that Snyder had left prior to officers' arrival and stated Snyder was driving a dark-colored Hyundai passenger car. Officer Tonga issued Adams a trespass warning at Mr. Johnson's request and instructed him not to return to Mr. Johnson's residence. At approximately the same time, Officer Richardson arrived in the area and located a dark-colored Hyundai vehicle. Richardson initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle for failing to stop before the stop line at a stop sign and failing to stop completely at that stop sign.
If you watch the video, this is complete BS. They very much did stop.
Richardson contacted the driver, who identified himself as Tyler Shaw. A rear passenger also identified himself as Benjamin Snyder. When Officer Tonga arrived at the scene of the traffic stop, he spoke with Snyder, who stated he was in Utah filming a series regarding civil proceedings originating out of Oregon. Both individuals denied any involvement in delivering the package. At that point, Officer Tonga determined that Adams, Shaw, and Snyder did not appear to have committed any violations of Utah's criminal code. Officer Tonga advised Shaw and Snyder that they were trespassed from Mr. Johnson's property and could not return. Both individuals acknowledged the trespass warning and were released.
All right. With that last part there, when they were pulled over, they were not on his property. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about how trespassing warrants work and all that, but I assume it's only if you're on their property, not in the general area. Like, I would think, say I had a trespass warrant on someone, if they enter my property, I would think, obviously, in that case, you could do something about it. But I would assume and hope that you can't trespass someone for driving down your street. That would be kind of ridiculous, in my opinion.
On March 9th, 2026, Joshua Johnson again contacted our department to report that a male was at his front door, ringing the doorbell and knocking. Mr. Johnson reported the male claimed to be part of a YouTube initiative, and Mr. Johnson stated that the male was harassing him. Johnson also reported that the male had pounded on the door, opened the screen door, attempted to open the front door, and had looked through some of the windows to the residence. Officer Hawkins with the American Fork Police Department responded and contacted the male, who identified himself as Christian Morgan. Morgan told Officer Hawkins he was attempting to help his friend Benjamin Snyder contact Mr. Johnson regarding a dispute involving a business known as Bricks and Minifigs and some alleged money that was owed. Officer Hawkins asked Morgan how he
Some alleged money, that's downplaying it a lot. Like, if you watch this video with no context, it sounds like he's talking about like a dispute over $50 or something, not like literally a home almost. Like, that's how much money we're talking about here. Like, you're talking about, even in some relatively expensive areas, half a house. Like, this is not some money.
became involved. Morgan stated that Snyder had posted on Instagram indicating he was coming to Utah and needed assistance from locals to get around town. Morgan offered to help and explained that at one point while he was in the vehicle with Snyder, Snyder requested help contacting Mr. Johnson. Morgan told Officer Hawkins that Snyder was likely nearby in a church parking lot. Officer Hawkins determined that Morgan had falsely represented himself to Mr. Johnson through his doorbell camera as belonging to a nearby church congregation that did not exist. Morgan had also told Mr. Johnson that he had been sent by Johnson's church leader. Morgan acknowledged to Officer Hawkins that these statements were false and that he had made them at the direction of Mr. Snyder. Officer Hawkins issued Morgan a trespass warning and instructed him not to return to the residence. As Officer Hawkins prepared to locate Snyder as part of the investigation, he observed Morgan walking toward a Hyundai passenger vehicle occupied by several individuals. Officer Hawkins believed Snyder may have been inside of the vehicle and intended to contact him as part of the investigation. Officer Hawkins initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle. As this occurred, Morgan turned away from the vehicle and ran away from officers. Officers did not pursue Morgan because he had not committed a crime, and Morgan was not observed again by our officers. Officer Hawkins discovered the vehicle was occupied by Tyler Shaw and Benjamin Snyder, both of whom had been trespassed from Mr. Johnson's residence the previous day. As Officer Hawkins spoke with Shaw and Snyder, they initially denied sending Morgan to the residence. Later in this conversation, Snyder admitted they had indeed sent Morgan and another unidentified individual to attempt to contact Mr. Johnson because, according to Snyder, their civil case could not proceed without an attempt at verbal reconciliation.
which is true. They Ben showed that in the video. That is true. That you need to make some attempt to uh, have a peaceful agreement with the person you're trying to sue.
During the interaction, Officer Froughton indicated he believed Shaw's eyes appeared glossy and expressed concern regarding possible impairment. Officer Hawkins asked Shaw if he would be willing to participate in field sobriety testing to ensure he was safe to drive. Shaw agreed. Field sobriety tests were conducted and no signs of impairment were observed. During this same time, while Officer Hawkins was conducting his investigation, Officer Froughton used his police service dog to conduct an open-air sniff around the vehicle. Froughton's police service dog alerted to the presence of the odor of a controlled substance, and the vehicle was subsequently searched. No illegal.
Really? We're doing like this is a total lie. I mean, if you go to the previous owners of the Bricks and Minifigs video, I don't know if they've uploaded another one, but the one that I've been referring to in the past couple videos, I'll try and remember to link that one down below as well. But I'm on like 4 or 5 videos I'm linking in the description, so hopefully I don't forget any. I don't think it's a coincidence that both those people, the previous owners, and Ben were accused of having the same controlled substance. I don't know if I can say what that controlled substance is on YouTube. I probably can, but I don't want to risk anything. Or I can, because Ben said it in his video. But yeah, they were both accused of having heroin, and they obviously did not. That's a ridiculous claim to make, and is definitely not legal to just be making stuff up like that.
Illegal substances were located inside of the vehicle. At one point during a conversation, Snyder admitted to Officer Hawkins that he and Shaw had actually delivered a package of ducks to Mr. Johnson's residence with the intent to have Mr. Johnson sign a fake delivery confirmation on Snyder's phone so that Snyder could later use that signature to create a forged contract claiming Snyder could not be trespassed from the property for 5 years. Snyder indicated he did not believe there was anything wrong with this and believed that there was nothing wrong with his posing as a UPS delivery driver. Ultimately, Officer Hawkins warned Shaw and Snyder again that they were approaching conduct that could potentially constitute harassment or stalking if they continued to send individuals to Mr. Johnson's residence.
I do not believe it is illegal to impersonate a UPS driver or mailman or whatever you want to say. I believe it is only illegal to impersonate a USPS uh, mailman or driver because they're like government employees and all that.
Officer Hawkins reaffirmed the trespass warning and released both of them from the scene.
All right, yeah, so that was about the whole part at the beginning of the video, I believe, up to the point where they were searched for heroin and all that, which, I mean, that, out of anything in the video, to be honest with you, that and the swatting thing are the two things that bothered me the most because those were just straight up lies. Like, there were a few things, like the whole trespassing thing and all that. You could probably piece something together and be like, yeah, the police, I can see why they're looking into this. This is just a lie. Like, it is crazy.
On March 10th, 2026, Kaylee Johnson, the wife of Joshua Johnson, reported that a female was standing near the front door of her residence taking photographs of the home. The female was described as wearing long, fake, curly hair. Shortly afterward, Joshua Johnson contacted police and reported he was going to shoot someone as a result of the ongoing harassment. Multiple officers immediately responded to the area. While en route, Officer Sumbot with the American Fork Police Department contacted Mr. Johnson by phone. Mr. Johnson reported that Benjamin Snyder and several affiliates were outside of his residence and had approached the home, frightening his wife and his children. When Officer Sumbot arrived, he located a vehicle parked north of the Johnson residence, and that vehicle was occupied by Sierra Lautz and Benjamin Snyder. Officer Sumbot asked what they were doing in the area. Snyder stated that he was involved in a court case and needed to provide legal paperwork to Mr. Johnson. Snyder indicated he worked for himself and that Lautz was his process server. Officer Sumbot then contacted Mr. Johnson to gather additional information regarding the situation. Mr. Johnson explained there was an ongoing dispute involving a Bricks and Minifigs franchise located in Oregon. Mr. Johnson stated that the prior owner, Crystal Law, had reportedly abandoned the store and requested that corporate representatives take over the location.
What? Now, I can't remember if I said this at the start of the video, but I have not watched any of this. What? Like, this is my raw reaction. They said that they abandoned the store and asked corporate to take over? Okay, like, it's, how can you just lie like this? Like, I understand. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I've never lied in my life. But this is just lie after lie after lie after lie. Like, there's little to no truth here. Like, oh my, this is ridiculous.
Mr. Johnson identified himself as an employee of Bricks and Minifigs and stated that he had been sent to the store to secure the franchise location and protect company assets. Mr. Johnson further explained that Law had entered into a consignment agreement with an individual named Brian Mansell, but according to Johnson, Mansell had not been paid. Mr. Johnson stated that when he arrived at the Oregon franchise location, Mansell demanded payment from Johnson and his business partner. Johnson reported that corporate representatives advised him they would address the consignment issue directly. However, Johnson claimed that Mansell continued attempting to hold Johnson and his business partner personally responsible under the agreement. Mr. Johnson also reported there were Lego sets believed to belong to Mansell that remained at the store. According to Johnson, they offered to return those items, but Mansell refused and continued demanding compensation. Mr. Johnson alleged that Mansell had hired Benjamin Snyder to harass, stalk, vandalize the store, threaten to murder the manager of the store, and forge.
Right until what? No, that just didn't happen. Like, all this, there's just no chance that that's true. There's just no chance. Like, that would, I don't know how to phrase it, but there's just no chance that that's true. Like, oh my god. How do you just lie like this constantly? Like, this guy has maybe said like one or two things that are true out of the 100 things he's said. This is just crazy, man. Like,
Signatures.
I don't get it.
Mr. Johnson then explained to Officer Sumbot several incidences from the previous days allegedly involving Snyder and or Snyder's affiliates. Officer Sumbot informed Mr. Johnson that Snyder stated he was present with a process server to serve legal paperwork. Mr. Johnson claimed the paperwork was fraudulent. Officer Sumbot again contacted Snyder, who stated they needed to physically deliver copies of the paperwork to Mr. Johnson. Officer Sumbot's report states, Snyder told me he was following the government's instructions and that Johnson keeps calling the cops on him to avoid getting in trouble for his crimes. Schneider said this is the third time Johnson has called the cops because he thinks that if he keeps calling the cops on him, he can get away with it. But we are showing him that he's not going to get away with these crimes.
Okay, so first off, the officer called the courthouse and was told that the papers were real. So I don't know what he's saying there. I don't believe I misheard him, but he was told the papers were real. So why is he still saying they're fraudulent?
Snyder allowed Officer Sumbot to take the paperwork to Mr. Johnson, which Officer Sumbot did in an attempt to help Mr. Snyder. Officer Sumbot advised Mr. Johnson that the paperwork appeared to be related to a claim and a case that originated in Oregon. Mr. Johnson stated that he had already contacted the Oregon Law Enforcement Agency with jurisdiction, which was the Kaiser Police Department, and had been told that nothing had been filed. Mr. Johnson also stated he believed the situation was being created solely for YouTube content purposes and declined to accept service. Officer Sumbot contacted the Marion County Circuit Court in Oregon to verify the legitimacy of the paperwork. The court confirmed that the case was indeed legitimate.
Okay, there it is. I must have misunderstood what he said previously, or it was just like progressive. Um, but what he said about, it's like a few seconds ago here.
Johnson also stated he believed the situation was being created solely for YouTube content purposes.
Yeah, this, like, if it was blown up to this amount over, honestly, I'd say anything less than $10,000. Like, I think at that point, yeah, you could say it was for YouTube content purposes or something like that. Like, it's not it's not this serious, but like $200,000, that is a ton of money. Like, to 99% of the population, that is life-changing money. It would be life-changing to me. It would probably be life-changing to you watching this, almost certainly. And it is crazy that they're acting like this shouldn't be taken that seriously and that they're just doing it for YouTube content.
And declined to accept service. Officer Sumbot contacted the Marion County Circuit Court in Oregon to verify the legitimacy of the paperwork. The court confirmed that the case was indeed legitimate, but that papers had already been served and no hearing date had yet been scheduled.
Hello. You have to see those papers?
Yeah.
So this is what you're trying to serve them with?
Yes. That's required by the court that we have. I wish we could just send them an email. I wish we could just send them a phone call, or the court could just send it to them. But this is what we were required to do from the United States court. So we're just following the instructions of the government.
Have you guys been here before?
I have once. I came one time to have a good faith conversation with them before suing, which the government also requires us to have before.
So are you Benjamin Schneider?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just following basically the instructions of the government, and he keeps calling the cops on me to try to avoid getting in trouble for his crimes.
Okay.
So that's why he keeps calling. I think it's like the third time he's called the cops now on us, because he thinks if I just call the cops on me, he can get away with it. But we're showing him like we're not going to let him get away with his crime. So.
Okay. You okay if I give these papers to him?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hang tight. We're gonna finish up some things on our end. We'll get you over.
Okay, we might need you to fill out some documents later then, as proof of service, if that's okay. But because whoever serves him has to fill out a proof of service, and might have to fill out some court papers. But that's just the legal way to do it.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
What was that?
Not help?
He does not want the paper. So
He's not one of the papers?
here's that back for you.
Okay.
He wanted you trespassed.
While officers were speaking with
So I believe through various POVs that entire interaction was in Ben's video, so didn't look changed in any way. I still think it's a ridiculous interaction. Like, how can you refuse court papers? I've never been sued. I've never sued anyone, but I would assume you can't just refuse them. That's ridiculous.
the involved parties, a sign was also located on the park strip across from Mr. Johnson's residence. The sign depicted Mr. Johnson holding U.S. currency in both hands while standing in front of an elderly man lying in a hospital bed. The sign contained the statement, "I stole a dying man's life savings." Snyder admitted he had placed the sign earlier that day. Officer Sumbot advised Snyder that, based on the ongoing conduct being reported and observed, officers believed his actions were approaching the statutory elements of stalking under Utah law. Specifically, officers expressed concern regarding repeated appearances at the residence, directing multiple individuals to contact the family, photographing the home, and placing objects and signs at the property. Officers had already given Snyder earlier warnings. Snyder responded that he believed he was following court procedure. An individual commits stalking if the individual intentionally or knowingly engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific individual and knows or is reckless as to whether that course of conduct would cause a reasonable person to fear for the individual's own safety or the safety of another, or to suffer other emotional distress.
He wasn't doing anything that would cause him to fear for his safety. He was trying to give him a piece of paper. You're a 50, maybe 60-something-year-old man. Why are you afraid of a 20-year-old trying to hand you a piece of paper? Like, unreal, dude.
Utah law defines a course of conduct as two or more acts directed toward a specific individual, including, but not limited to, following, monitoring, observing, photographing, surveilling, or communicating to or about an individual. It also includes approaching or confronting an individual, appearing at an individual's residence, contacting an individual's neighbors, delivering or placing objects on an individual's property, and using electronic communication or third parties to engage in such conduct. Based on the totality of the known facts at the time, officers established probable cause that Snyder had committed the offenses of stalking and targeted residential picketing under Utah law. Snyder was subsequently arrested and transported to the Utah County Jail.
This might be like the most loophole thing I've ever seen in this. Like, on a technicality, maybe. But he's just doing what he has to do legally to go through a court case with this guy. Okay, this is just the whatever you call this, his booking or whatever. Uh, 1995. He's older than I thought he was. Unrelated, but like I said, I think a few minutes ago I said 20 or something, but
On March 11th, 2026, Joshua Johnson again contacted the American Fork Police Department to report that Benjamin Snyder and several affiliates were again in the area. Mr. Johnson reported that the individual he believed had been stalking him was across the street from his residence, placing another sign containing Johnson's photograph. Johnson also reported that individuals involved were speaking with his neighbors. Officer Richardson with the American Fork Police Department responded to the area and observed 4 individuals hanging a sign directly across from Johnson's residence. The sign appeared to be either the same sign or a replica of the sign that was referenced in case 26AF02033. Officer Richardson contacted the group and asked what they were doing. The group stated they were supporting a GoFundMe campaign for a dying man. One of the individuals, later identified as Sheldon Norcross, voluntarily showed Officer Richardson his phone to display the GoFundMe. While viewing the phone, Officer Richardson observed that Norcross was actively engaged in a FaceTime call. Officer Richardson asked Norcross who it was he was speaking with, and specifically asked whether it was Benjamin Snyder. Norcross confirmed Snyder was on the FaceTime call. After reviewing the known facts and the elements of Utah's stalking statute, and taking into consideration
that's not illegal for him to be on a FaceTime call with someone, dude. It's just not. And he's not harassing him by being on this FaceTime call. And they're going to get to it here in a second, but the whole power button thing is
consideration
crazy.
The new actions from that day, Officer Richardson established probable cause to arrest Snyder for an additional quote count of stalking. Specifically, Richardson believed Snyder was coordinating conduct through third parties that constituted a continued course of conduct under the statute we reviewed. Officer Richardson then decided to seize Norcross's phone, pending the approval of a search warrant, in order to preserve potential evidence and prevent the deletion or alteration of any data. According to Officer Richardson's report, when Norcross was informed that the phone was going to be seized, Norcross immediately began manipulating the device. Richardson wrote,
he had this. He reached for, I guess this is my volume button, but he reached for the power button. That's it. Like, do you know how many things? You have to do so many things. You would have to go in your phone, go to the photo. I mean, let's say hypothetically deleting a picture. Go to the Photos app, click on the picture you want to delete, hit the trash button, hit delete photo, go to recently deleted, hit delete again, done. Or if you want to delete an app, open your phone, hold down the app, hit the little minus button, and delete it. All he did was this. This is a joke, man. This, like, I mean, I know I don't want to get political on stuff. I know some police departments have had issues in their past, and it's raised questions on the reliability of police in our country and all that. But this is probably the biggest example of a non-violent. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of violence. They dislocated his shoulder. I don't know if they're going to mention that, but for the most part, a non-violent interaction this just makes me completely lose faith in, like, law enforcement, at the very least this police department.
Wrote in his report. Norcross then immediately opened his phone and began manipulating it, which led myself and Lieutenant Adamson to believe he was attempting to destroy evidence on his device. At that point, Officer Richardson and Lieutenant Adamson forcibly removed the phone from Norcross's grasp after what Richardson describes in his report as a very brief altercation. Norcross was then detained in handcuffs as part of the stalking investigation. At this time, officers did not know where Snyder was located. While still on scene, Officer Richardson received information from an American Fork resident stating that several YouTubers had been renting an Airbnb property from this citizen. Officers responded to the Airbnb with the intent to arrest Snyder for an additional count of stalking. Upon arrival,
and you needed to show up with guns drawn for that?
Officers developed probable cause, including information gathered from video surveillance from the Airbnb, to believe that Snyder had entered the residence and had not yet exited. Officers then prepared a search warrant affidavit requesting authorization to enter the residence to locate and arrest Snyder. During contact with the Airbnb owner, the owner reported overhearing conversations about possible stolen Legos. Specifically, officers wrote in the search warrant affidavit, the homeowner also disclosed that he could hear multiple individuals inside the residence speaking about possibly stolen Lego toys they had taken. Based on that information, officers added a request within the search warrant affidavit seeking authorization to also search for and seize possible stolen property, including Lego merchandise.
So either this is a lie or they misheard it. Like, they didn't steal anything. Like,
4th District Judge Roger W. Griffin reviewed and approved the search warrant. Officers executed the warrant as a knock and announce warrant. What this means is that our officers take the time to knock on the door, to present themselves as officers, and to inform anyone inside that they have a search warrant. As they were doing this, individuals came to the door. Ultimately, 5 individuals exited the residence. Those individuals were identified as Benjamin Snyder, Tyler Shaw, Stephen Allen, Sierra Lautz, and a male who was later identified as a 16-year-old juvenile. As the individuals exited the residence, they were placed in handcuffs while officers secured the scene. During Snyder's detention, Lieutenant Adamson took hold of Snyder's right arm. Lieutenant Adamson later reported that he felt Snyder tense his arm, at which point Adamson moved Snyder's right arm behind his back to place him into custody. Mr. Snyder later addressed this incident in one of his YouTube videos. In the X-ray image displayed by Mr. Snyder in that video, a small L is visible in the upper right-hand corner of the X-ray. The L indicates the image is that of the left shoulder. The video shows Lieutenant Adamson handling Snyder's right arm during the arrest. Additionally, officers documented no complaints of arm or shoulder pain by Mr. Snyder during his detention, transport, or booking process.
I mean, you think his shoulder just dislocated itself? Like, I'm sure there was something there that was missed. I don't think he'd just lie about that. Like, in the big picture here of this entire investigation, I am like way slouched down in my chair watching this. In the big picture here, them dislocating his shoulder doesn't matter that much. So why would he lie about that? Like, there's just no way that that's a lie. Like, you dislocated his shoulder. Like,
At the jail. All 5 individuals were transported to the American Fork Police Department.
it matters on the part of the police corruption, I should say. It doesn't matter on his goal of getting Lego sets back. Wanted to make that clear. It's a bad look. Police should not be injuring people, especially in a non-violent interaction like this. But with Ben's goal, it doesn't really contribute to that. I don't think going into this he was looking to expose a police department.
Due to limited interview room availability, the individuals were placed in a combination of interview rooms and holding cells while interviews were conducted. The juvenile male was also immediately released to his parents upon arrival at the police department. The 4 adult individuals agreed to interviews with Detective Nicosia. The contents of those interviews are documented in the Associated Police reports, which will be made available through a link accompanying this video. Ultimately, Detective Nicosia determined that Shaw, Allen, and Lautz appeared to have been acting at the direction and encouragement of Mr. Snyder. These 3 individuals were ultimately released from the police department. Mr. Snyder was subsequently transported to the Utah County Jail, where he was booked for an additional charge of stalking. I understand that many people following this situation online have strong feelings regarding the underlying business dispute out of Oregon and allegations that individuals may have lost significant amounts of money.
Trust me, it's a lot more than that now, dude. Like, after this video especially, like, this is...
I recognize that people are frustrated, angry, and may feel that justice has not been served in relation to those allegations. Those concerns are understandable. I understand them, and I'm empathetic to them. And nothing in the actions taken by the American Fork Police Department should be interpreted as validating, supporting, or defending anyone involved in that separate civil or criminal dispute.
Well, it sure looks like you guys are trying to defend these people, because there is no other explanation that I can think of. Unless Ben is exactly what he's trying to say these people are and is lying to literally millions of people online to try to make a quick buck, there's just no way. Which, by the way, I don't think he is. I think I'm 100% on his side. Like, this is horrible what is going on over there. And it's just insane that this guy is trying to just lie after lie after lie after lie and expect us to believe it.
Our responsibility in Utah was not to determine who was morally right or wrong in a business disagreement originating in another state. Our responsibility was to respond to conduct reported here in our community, evaluate the facts available to our officers at the time, and enforce Utah law as officers established probable cause that a crime had occurred. The fact that someone may believe they have been wronged financially does not exempt any individual from the laws governing harassment, trespassing, stalking, or other conduct within our jurisdiction. We remain committed to enforcing the law fairly, objectively, and transparently, regardless of who is involved or what narrative may exist.
Okay, so. No, I don't want to watch
The Chief of
Jack
Police for the American Fork Police
Doherty
Department.
body cam. Thank you, Moist Critical. Yeah, that that might be the worst statement I've seen in this entire situation. And wow, the Bricks and Minifigs statements were bad. And this makes that look like a 10 out of 10 well-written statement that would completely clean this up for Bricks and Minifigs. Like, this is so bad. Like, at least Bricks and Minifigs, a lot of it, yeah, they were lying in it and all that. But what they were doing, how do I say this without like making people think I'm taking their side, because I'm not. What they were saying, a lot of it, you could look at it from their perspective and understand. I don't agree with it in the slightest, but you could at least kind of see where they're coming from. This guy is just lying. He's just flat out lying. And if you couldn't tell by the tone of my voice, this pisses me off. Like, the other videos I made on this topic with the Bricks and Minifig statements and all that, I was like, yeah, this is stupid. Like, there's no way you expect people to believe this. And I was frustrated at the whole situation because I was like, it is just sad. But this, like, genuinely pisses me off that, like, this guy is coming on here and expecting people to believe a word he's saying. 99.9% of what he said in this video, I do not believe. I don't think unless they show us some video evidence of what he said in this video, specifically a few claims, like there was one in there when he tried to say that Ben, something about Ben trying to murder someone. That was the point where I really got pissed off. It's like, dude, you are taking this from this guy is doing some bad things. I'm saying this from his perspective. I think some of the things Ben did, I personally wouldn't do myself, but I understand why he did them. You're taking this from he did some things that are questionable to he is literally, you are saying he was considering doing the worst thing you can possibly do to somebody. Like, how do you say this and go to sleep at night? Like, I gotta I gotta cool off a little bit after watching that. Like I said, this was my first time watching this, so this is genuine raw emotion just coming out right now. Like, oh, and if you know me, you know I don't like dramatize things. I can't do that. That's not the type of person I am. I'm not the type of person to be like, wow, this is awful. Like, no, this is my genuine feelings about this. Like, Wow. I just don't have any more words here. Like this is crazy. Do I want to look at some of the comments? Um, I try to keep my channel relatively tame, but let's look at some of the comments here. Yeah, that for sure right there. Yep, exactly. We have investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. Like, that's pretty much exactly what he said. Um, Imagine destroying your entire police department for a Lego thief. Yeah. Imagine having your entire police department. Yeah, same exact thing. Pretty much, yeah. Some of the worst production I've seen in a video, and I've had some rough production. Um, yeah, pretty much. Uh, yeah, and like Palpatine. Yeah, pretty much Palpatine level corruption. Yeah, these people are kind of pretty corrupt. Yeah, pretty corrupt. Um, Now, if I'm just gonna be talking for the rest of this video, just scrolling through stuff here. So if you were just here for the video portion of this and my reaction to it, feel free to click off now. But if you want to just have a laugh and scroll through the comments with me, then feel free to stay. Um, what if I talk super quietly? No one will hear my provable lies. Is this how I sounded yesterday? Was I this quiet in my other video with the Bricks and Minifigs statement? I'm in a gaslighting competition. My opponent is the Utah Police Department. Open his phone and begin manipulating. Dude, just press. Literally, he did this. Like, ugh. Alleged he won 10 lawsuits and literally got a federal lawsuit approved. The chief also sounds like that stuttering kid Vine. I don't know what Vine he's talking about, but yeah. If I speak low, they won't hear my BS. Yeah. So basically, yeah, same thing as earlier. Police corruption ASMR was not in my 2026 bingo card. That's a good one. Once started as a concerning case of corporate corruption has turned into a fascinating yet even more concerning case of police corruption. Yeah, I mean, this went from bad to like this went from bad on a relatively small scale because 99% of the population will never interact with a Bricks and Minifigs in their life to people that you interact with. I mean, for some people on a day-to-day basis probably. That's a decent one. Bro delivered that statement like the truth was in the room and might over. Yeah, I mean he was pretty quiet. Hopefully you guys are able to hear it. Uh, yep, exactly. I mean, I think I said that earlier. Yeah, I mean he was just walking out. The cop had his arm behind his shoulder and like jolted like what he tensed. I think he said he tensed his arm up. Like what are we even saying? Oh, he tensed his arm. Ooh, like yeah. I mean, most of these are just that saying the same thing over and over. So I think I'm gonna call it here. For some minifigs. Yeah, probably, dude. I mean, I am 100% certain at this point that this has cost Bricks and Minifigs more than the $200,000 that this collection was worth. Even don't even consider any of the legal fees and stuff that they have to go through for all this. They have 100% lost more than $200,000 in sales. There's just no way they haven't. Um, yeah, it's messed up, man. It's messed up. I think I'm gonna call it here. We're at almost 45 minutes here, so I got quite a bit of editing to do, but I'm gonna try and get this up tonight. So hopefully you guys can see it. And yeah, like I said at the start, thank you guys for all the support on these videos recently. It really does mean a lot. Waking up in the morning and seeing like 3,000 views on a video might not sound like a lot to some people, but to me it's like, wow, this is the first video where it feels like I have something. Like some of my other videos have done like a couple hundred views here and there, but like this was the first video I was like, man, this really feels good. Like this, like it feels like an accomplishment. Not saying I don't appreciate those other videos, but seeing that K next to the number just it does something to my brain, and I'm like, ooh, we got something here. This is really cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna ramble on too much longer. I know that's been I've seen some people in the comments of some of my last couple videos being like, oh, a lot of yapping. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do here. I'm sorry. I talk a lot. I'll go on tangents. Like it just happens. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Comment down below your thoughts and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I'm getting close to 300, so hopefully get me past the American Fork to police department here. They have 309. I think I'm at like 280 last time I checked. Get me past them. Come on, guys. We can do it. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.